Bang! Welcome to welcome to our Real Estate Mavericks. Actually, my luxury home course presented by me and Real Estate Mavericks. And this is a special day, and this is going to be a very, very special course. And the reason it's going to be a very special course is because it's a lot more than a course. I mean, it is a lot more than a course. I'm going to take you down a 4-week path with the help of my Maverick team, and that's Aaron, amazing graphic design Aaron, Brian, of course, Jen, Adrian. We're going to take you down a path of actually not just teaching you how to do this, but showing you, just giving you everything you need to make it happen, to start going down the path to becoming a rock star luxury home agent. Now, I want to start, and I actually, without the slide deck, and that is Roseanne typed up for me because she didn't want me to forget all the cool things. It's right here. All the cool things that being in luxury homes did for our family. And she says here, we had so much fun. We met amazing, still are interesting people, got to see incredible properties. Our clients became friends who helped us in just numerous ways, including when I broke my leg. Here we go. Brian Zabel. Hey, thanks for tuning in there, Brian. Mike Kane, how are you out in Northern Virginia? Like when I broke my leg a year ago, many of you know I broke my leg after I had given a presentation. I fell down a bunch of stairs. Here, I've motorcycled, flown my plane everywhere, and through a connection that I met through my luxury home sales, was able to get one of the top leg surgeons, traumatic surgeons in Phoenix as a result of that. Became well known in my community. Last night, someone called me from Paradise Valley community, and she says, "Greg, I need a foreclosure attorney." It's a long story you don't want to know, but I said, "Really?" She said, "Yeah, they can't find my note. They can't find my promissory note, so I'm not making my payments." I said, "Are you serious?" They said, "Yeah, and I'm gonna." So I referred her to someone. She said, "Oh, by the way, I see you at Whole Foods all the time." Now, this is somebody, I've never met this person, but she sees me at Whole Foods all the time. And I said, "Well, why don't you say hi?" Her name is Judy. I'm not mentioning her last name. And she says, she says, "I know famous people don't want to be bothered." I mean, you got to be kidding, famous. But when you're in luxury homes and you do the kind of marketing over the years, you actually get that kind of persona, that kind of image. It's actually really fun. I told her I am the furthest thing from famous. And believe me, Judy, the way I look when I go to Whole Foods, because I don't really like to shop, but I love to go to Whole Foods. It's one of my favorite things to get my own stuff. I have my t-shirt, like totally look like a rag. She says, "Wow," she says, she made this funny comment, like, "Yeah, and famous people, they just try to not look that." It was ridiculous. But in any case, get a really great image. Donated to a lot of charities. For years and years, we've been a supporter of the Phoenix Rescue Mission. And in fact, building my luxury home brokerage in Paradise Valley, I got my entire team of 11 people for 1 3-month period to donate all of the commissions we earned to the Phoenix Rescue Mission. They were building a new women and children's center. That became an amazing, amazing thing to do. We were so proud of ourselves, and actually our business increased because we got so much publicity from it. Our business increased significantly as a result of that, doing a really good thing. And we didn't do the really good thing for business strategy. We did the really good thing because we wanted to do the really good thing. But so many people listed with us and sold through us as a result of that, that it just took our business after the 3-month period to another level. So just so many interesting things, from wearing nice clothes, driving nice cars. We bought our first, even though I was successful in mid-price real estate, didn't buy my first luxury home, didn't buy our first luxury home until I got into luxury home sales. And that, I tell you, that was really an experience to be able to bring the kids up in that community and really nice homes, etc. I can take you there. That's the big deal. This isn't about me. This is about you. I was in your shoes prior to me getting into luxury home sales. Yes, I was very successful at mid-price sales. Some of you maybe, some of you may not, but I'll bet you every one of you on this training can do exactly what I did. And I want to show you something here. I'm going to go to a screen share. We've got an actual slide deck, but I want to show you on the screen share the result of getting into luxury homes and what I'm going to show you. Let's see. I can get rid of that. That was me on the southern tip of Africa. This is some marketing I'm going to show you. But right here, This is from 2002. Yeah, 2002. This is Realtor Magazine, September 2003, top 100 sales teams in the nation. And you can see we were ranked number 26 in the nation. We were up plus 30, and that was with 11 of us. And that was, again, back in 2002. And this is very tough parameters. That 102 million in volume was sliced and diced. It was really closer to 200 million in volume, but they didn't let you double count your own listings, a bunch of stuff. This is what happens when you use the strategies I'm going to teach you today. What I'm going to teach you today and over the next 3 weeks, that's what that resulted from that. Another thing, let me show you here if I can find it so I can get rid of that. Again, that's some marketing, and that's that. I want to show you the business journal. Whoops, screen share has stopped. Let me go back to this again and show you, and then I'll tell you a fun story about it if I can. There we go. Where is that business journal thing? Oh, well, in any case, in the business journal here, we were ranked the #1, actually the #2 team in all of Arizona and the #1 luxury home team. And there were a lot of agents, and this was in 2008. I'm going to go off screen share here. There were a lot of agents who had a lot of jealousy about that when that happened, because we accelerated when I started this, I think in the late 1990s. By 2001, 2002, we were #1 by far in our luxury home community. We were ranked, as I say, 26th nationally. And then as the years went on, we were consistently ranked #1 in the Scottsdale area, Paradise Valley area. Even there was a study done by Arizona State. They just did this fun study, a bunch of students there, and ranked us far and away in every category, the leading real estate team. All this because of this, what I'm going to teach you how to do in luxury homes. And then here's the fun story. And just about a year and a half after we get started in this, and I go down this path that I'm going to teach you to go down, the other luxury agents in Paradise Valley got together and went to the newspaper in Paradise Valley, the community newspaper. And I get this call, and I've been advertising in there. I get this call because they had all these advertising positions tied up. And I'm going to talk to you about how to do that in the next session, not today. And I get a call from the newspaper. They say, Grit, I'm one of their good clients now. I'm building my brokerage, doing more and more advertising. And I get a call from the newspaper, and I said, sure, I'll come over and talk with them. And they say, Greg, we'd like you to cut back on your advertising. And I said, what? You want me to what? Cut back on my advertising? I'm serious about this. They said, yeah, all the other luxury, the other big luxury agents in Paradise Valley, the ones that have been around for years, they all came over in unison together. And they told us that if we didn't cut you back on your advertising, make you cut back, that they were going to all pull out. I mean, this is what I'm going to teach you to do. You're going to find this to be a lot of fun. And it's not through spending. I didn't start with a lot of advertising. It built up over time. And I'll show you how to do that. But it was just driving them nuts that I was able to start small and just keep building and building. And at the end of 2 years, be dominant in Paradise Valley. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in your community. So in any case, the paper says to me, we want you to cut back, because we don't want to lose all these people. They've been with us for all these years, and we love you. We love your advertising. So what I did is I thought about it for a minute, and I said, well, tell you what, I don't want to hurt you guys, don't want to hurt the paper, but I don't want to cut back. So I have a solution. You just tell all my competitors, who, by the way, hug me during the day and then try to stab me in the back like this. I mean, everybody's nice and wonderful and friendly and everybody, all this, and then, they're out there trying to take listings away from you and doing this. I said, you just tell them that whatever ads they drop, I'll pick those up. And the guy said, they said, you will? And I said, yeah, I'll just take them all. So if they all drop out, I'll take all their positions, every single one of them. I thought, whatever, I'll just own the PV independent. I mean, that's okay. They want to pull out, I'll own this town. Well, none of them pulled out. They all upped their advertising, et cetera. And so that's what I'm going to show you how to do, starting small and going from there. Also, before I get into the slide deck, I just want to tell you that I believe, and I've got it in the slide deck, I'm really was sincere. I'm always sincere in my marketing, but I want to tell you, I was double sincere in my marketing where I was talking to all of you about what an opportunity this is to get into the luxury market. And that's in my slide deck. I'll talk a little more about it. But you can do this. And don't necessarily think the luxury market has to be $1 million to $3 million homes. I'm going to talk to you about that. It's a lot about how people perceive what they perceive their home to be. And there are a lot of people, as you'll see when I go through the more formal presentation here, and then I'll take all your questions at the end for as long as you guys want. The bottom line is you're going to see that it's really a matter of appealing to people who really feel like they live in a luxury home. And so your market is broader than you might think for what I'm going to teach you. It doesn't have to be like the ultra fancy homes. So let me go into my deck and we'll get started here. Actually, before I do, I want to show you a few things because they're not in the deck. So this, I want to show you, and I'm going to make all this available to you. I do a combination of, we're going to call it 2 types of advertising. I did before I even got into luxury homes, but it's particularly effective in luxury homes. The one kind of advertising, which can be done in ads and blogs and whatever, is what I call positional advertising. It's soft positional. I call it soft positional. So this is the ad that I'm running in the Paradise Valley Independent newspaper next Wednesday. This is what'll come out. Nobody's seen this yet. It was turned in. Well, what am I saying? No, it just came out. Today is Thursday, so it came out yesterday. This was turned in last Friday, so it came out yesterday. If you look at the PV Independent, Paradise Valley Independent, which is online, you'll see that on page 3, which is the right-hand reading page, and I'm going to teach you about how to, when you're buying community newspaper ads, which are usually not expensive, how to get and lock in the right kind of positions. But this is where I talk about, where I'm really doing an article. I call it, I'm talking about what realtors should be doing. It's such effective advertising. And you're going to get to use all this. I spent a lot of hours writing these things, but here I talk about backstory. And in this ad, I talk about how it's really critical that your realtor, see, I'm like teaching the sellers what to teach their realtors. I want to say that again. I'm teaching home sellers what they should be looking for in teaching their realtors. Well, obviously you can see how that positions me as like the total expert. So here I'm talking about the importance of the seller's story and the backstory. And I'm talking about how to package it, the 7 themes that you put it in. And then I always finish up, and this one, want to sell your PV home at a higher price in 75 days. That's my 75-day private home marketing plan. Talk with me before you list with a conventional realtor. I have a more intelligent approach. It's so good it was even featured in Forbes. Well, what I'm going to teach you, you can use this. You'll be using my approach. So you can use the social proof and the validity of having your program. And we've developed a whole set of materials just for you. You will see that today. I mean, just for you, that we will brand for you. You're going to love this. And I'm going to start using them next week. I just hats off to Brian and Aaron, who killed themselves coming up with look through hundreds of images. We spent hours on the phone working messaging, and this is going to be my new messaging moving forward, and I'll bet it will be yours too. You'll see that at the end of the presentation today. But this is soft positional advertising. Another one, same thing, soft positional. I talk about persuasion here, superpower persuasion. And here I'm imaging me and Casey because I'm teaching my son Casey how to be a luxury home agent. So I've got him imaged in here, down here. I'm teaching Casey how to sell PV homes. We have a super power persuasive approach, etc. And so you see how I use an informative article and then spin it around to we're doing things that other realtors aren't, or if you're going to use another realtor, be sure they're doing these things. And then, oops, I stopped the screen share there. Hold on a second. I want to show you this one more. And so made that by mistake. This is the 5-second rule. This is one where I'm talking about getting going, getting off your duff, getting going in life. This is very soft positional. This really isn't a real estate lesson. This is more of a personal development lesson, but it still works extremely well where people can, again, and I'm always pushing the 75-day plan here, where people are just getting to know me. You see, I always have my photo down at the bottom, and people are just getting to know me. And that's why this Judy, she sees me at Whole Foods, and she thinks like I'm famous because she's constantly seeing me, teaching in the newspaper there, this soft, what I call this soft positional advertising. So that's something I'll be teaching you how to do. I'll also be allowing you to use the stuff that I've spent hundreds of hours writing, so you can just spin it and put your own branding on it and put it out your own way. That alone is going to be worth many times what you paid for this course, just being able to use what I have spent weeks and months and hundreds of hours developing. So there we go. And all right, let me get into the deck now and get going with the actual presentation here. Okay, so we're starting actually with a consumer ad, sell your home for more than you should, avoid the mistakes luxury home sellers make. I'll be talking about this kind of marketing in a few minutes, but the takeaways here is, and I have this in one of the slides, so you're all going to get a copy of the slide deck, is that marketing needs to be create intrigue and create curiosity without revealing the takeaway. So I want to say that again because I really want you to remember that. Good marketing creates some intrigue and curiosity without giving up the takeaway, okay? Without giving up the takeaway. So that's a big deal. So I told you why I love being a luxury agent, and I used Roseanne's notes. And the number one thing that I want you to know with this course is getting you in home sellers' doors, luxury home sellers' doors, is my number one priority. That is priority number one. It's going to be threaded through everything I do, everything I talk about, and all 4 sessions, because the biggest problem most realtors have is they don't get in on enough appointments. And I am going to get you in on luxury appointments. I'm going to give you the materials that you need. All you have to do is put them out in your market. I'm going to show you how to do that cost effectively, and you will get indoors. You will get indoors. And then I'm going to teach you how to win day after day, listing appointment after listing appointment. There are going to be other things you're going to learn, but those are going to be the 2 biggies. And the bottom line is I've done your ads for you. Rather than just giving you a course and a bunch of training where you go out and do it yourself, I've done your ads for you, imaging, everything. I'm having my graphic designer. They're going to put every one of your branding. If you want to use the ads, which you'll see at the end of this, all your branding will go on there. All you have to do is just go get them out, and your phone will ring. I've never missed on this. It's been one of my greatest strengths in my real estate life, is being able to make the phone ring with my messaging and my materials. That is something I know how to do, and I'm going to give it to you. Okay, as I said, great marketing, so you have it in an image, creates intrigue and curiosity without revealing the takeaway. I also want you to think about, not today, it's not a big thing for today, but we're talking about delving deep into this next week. What is your real estate product? You need to start thinking about what you're doing to sell homes as a product. Is your product pretty much the same as everyone else's? Are you pretty much doing the same thing that other agents are doing to sell homes? If you are, that's going to change with me. You can change it in the ways you want. You don't have to believe what I believe about what's wrong with the industry. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing because I believe it's a better way to sell homes. But you're going to do things differently, and here's why. Because you have to know that there are always better ways to do what's done. There are better ways to sell any type of home, much less a luxury home. And a luxury home deserves extra special care because we're talking big money. We're talking usually a high degree of uniqueness among homes. These are not tract subdivisions homes typically. Consequently, they take more care, more thought, more pre-planning, and it is crazy to not have your methodology for selling homes be different than the other guys. And I want you to start thinking that in terms of it being a product. I've talked a lot in my brochures about, I think one of the most powerful things I've ever done in my real estate life was look at all the other realtors is selling shinier versions of the same Ford when I was selling a Lexus or a Mercedes. I was selling a whole different thing. They were trying to take the normal home selling process and just talk about how they did it better. You know, the shinier Ford. They're just shinier. I'm shinier than Jim over there. No, you're going to have a different product. You're going to have a different home selling process. And again, I'm going to show you what I recommend, but you don't have to buy into that. You say, no, Greg, I don't agree. I think we should put homes in MLS right away. Okay, that's cool. I don't think we should, but you think we should. But you need to figure out what's being done right now by other realtors that isn't as good as it could be and needs to be done differently, what I call these positions against tradition. And that's going to become your real estate product. And this course will not end till each of you have your own real estate product. I won't let that happen, okay? I'm going to climb into your head because I'm not going to let this be a typical course that people pay for all over the world. I'm really good friends with a lot of leading thought leaders. I'm very fortunate in that regard. From my partner and friend, Harvey McKay, Brendan Burchard, just did a promotion with Brendan, Jeff Walker, just go down this list of really amazing people. But, you know, I talk to them and so much, they sell so much, but the truth is they all know that, and it happens a lot with me, that a lot of what they teach doesn't get implemented. It's really good stuff. But sometimes people buy their courses and don't even go through the entire course. Don't let that be true with you and with this. I promise you, if you will just go down this simple, inexpensive path and develop your unique product and do what I say, your needle is going to move in the next 12 months like you never even imagined. And I'm just going to feel so good that I was a contributor to that. You're going to be the main force. I'm just going to be a contributor. I'm just going to be your coach. Okay. I want you to think about your product in terms of, does it meet the RIBS test? I'll be talking about that in a later seminar. I just want you to be aware of it. And that is when you're thinking about over this next week, how you're going to reconform your home selling process, how you're going to have a different product, because that, when people call on the marketing that I'm going to give you, the marketing I'm going to give you is going to allow you, and we purposely did this, so your actual home selling formula, your home selling product, your home selling process, what you do, you can do anything you want. We're not locking you into 75 days. We spent a lot of time talking and thinking and whiteboarding this, and we wanted you to have absolute flexibility. We want to make the phone ring, but give you absolute flexibility to have your home selling product, your formula, your process, whatever you want to call it, be what you want it to be. But it needs to meet the RIBS test. That means when you're thinking about it, is it relevant? Is it relevant to your target market, to your customers' greatest needs, greatest desires, greatest problem? You need to think about that. Of course, selling at a higher price is always relevant. But a lot of high-end sellers want to have an easy process. They may want privacy. There are other things that resonate with these people. So it's got to be relevant. You want to make it seem inevitable. Whatever you're going to do differently about your product, your process, your formula for selling homes, this is going to be the foundation of your listing presentation. You want it to make it seem like it's so good, everybody will be doing it in a matter of years or months. You want to make it logically transparent, believable. That's the B. So you want to think about it where a person can just see the logic of it and say to themselves, wow, I do get that. I believe that because it's logically transparent. It makes sense. So it needs to be believable in that regard, and then simple, just so like an 8-year-old can understand. Okay, so we're going to get into the real substance now. And this is an outline of what will happen over the next 4 sessions. Today, it's about marketing. It's about getting indoors. This is what you're all wanting. I know that. So I made it first. I'm not holding it till the end. We're going to have, marketing is going to be a part of every single session. It's going to be a key part. It's probably going to take maybe anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes of every one of the 1-hour sessions. And then I'm going to hang on as long as you guys want, a half hour, 45 minutes, or 5 minutes if you have questions. But the bottom line is marketing is going to thread through it all. But today is going to be getting you indoors, which I know is what you're on for primarily. And you should be, because that's where you need to be. You need to be out on more listing appointments. How to make home sellers call you over competitors. Number 2, how to win on listing appointments. Session 3, how to get those listings sold. I'm going to actually talk to you about your home selling formula and the things we're doing that are getting our luxury home sold when in Paradise Valley, the average home sitting on the market, 150, 200, 250 days. Casey just got into real estate. Well, Casey? I know you're on today. I think really officially started January 1. I'm really proud of Casey. He's using all the strategies I'm going to teach you today, and I think he's already earned somewhere between $60,000 and $75,000. I know he's closed almost $50,000. I think he has another 25. I know he has a big closing coming up this Friday, and he's just using what I'm teaching you today. Of course, he's my son. I've been teaching him firsthand, but the bottom line is that he is not missed on selling one single listing that he's taken in less than 75 days. I think his average, he's doing the work. I'm not. I'm doing none of the work. This is not me. This is somebody I'm teaching. He happens to be my son, but you are now have just risen to the level where I'm going to teach you just like him. And I don't think he's missed on selling one in like under 60 days. And this is in a market where homes are sitting in Paradise Valley, 150, 200 days. I mean, see the opportunity. So I'm going to teach you how to get these out, how to increase the probability the listings you take are going to sell, including how to get sellers to price them right. And then I'm going to teach you in the last session, a part of that's going to be how to actually have your business be a business, how to have a scalable business so that you make that move from being a technician, being a real estate technician, actually doing the work of real estate, to building a business where you can hire other people to do the work over time. You can still do it. You can still be the superstar. You can still go out on appointments, but I'm going to actually show you how to start going down a path where you can build a business that actually you could sell down the road. I've done it many times. I've collected millions of dollars selling real estate firms, and you can do the same. And then just go do another one. I mean, I just keep doing it. Obviously, don't put non-compete clauses in. And it cost me to not have those, but I won't put those in. Okay, so 5 reasons you should get into luxury homes. I'll blast through these. You have nothing to lose. You can keep doing what you're doing. So it's not like you have to not do what you're doing. The commissions are higher because prices are higher. Well, hello, like you don't know that. They're also higher because upscale people are used to paying upscale prices for things. So I found they don't negotiate just hard. In fact, you know, I have a whole program, as most of you know, for selling lower to mid-priced homes. It's a very price competitive program. In luxury homes, not at all. This has nothing to do with commission. We charge is 6%, the common. I mean, sometimes we'll charge in situations with certain people as low as, I think, 5. 5 is the lowest we've gone. And most of the time it's 6, so it's 5 or 6%. And it's just what we're going to call traditional commission structure. So bottom line is, we get no resistance to that at all. I mean, I can't think on the last few listing appointments where I've actually gone with Casey, which I still do, and I love doing it. That's why I'm such a great trainer for you, because I'm doing this every day. I mean, I go out with Casey and help him. He goes on his own a lot. I go with him sometimes. But the bottom line is, it doesn't even come up. Also, the luxury market is soft in most parts of the country. Homes are sitting. I've talked about this. Sellers are looking for a solution. And guys, you are going to be that solution. Established agents, they're asleep. It's true impaired for those. None of you, I think I looked at the list. We got a huge list of, and we're going to get you guys to all know each other around the country. We're going to set up maybe a Facebook page or something. Got an enormous list of amazing agents from around the country on this. But the agents out there right now, just like when I went into Paradise Valley, again, I think that was 1999 or 2000 when I started in Paradise Valley. I mean, they were asleep then. They've gone back. They got on their game a bit when I went in there and started doing what I was doing. Then I went into training, and you know, I haven't been pounding that market, just been helping Casey recently. But bottom line is, everybody's gotten complacent again. They're all doing same old, same old. There's no innovation, no creativity. They're all riding off of their name. That's their Achilles heels. And by the way, I say you guys, that's just a term of art. I know there are a lot of amazing women. Please take that just as a term of art that I'm used to saying you guys out there, because I just do. It's like I hug my boys and kiss my boys and whatever. I just do what I do. And at my age, I think I'm allowed to do that kind of stuff. Take that liberty. So you guys, I'm going to show you how to nail the Achilles heels of these other agents who are sitting there sound asleep. So what's a luxury home? Well, here's the thing, you know, when I say it doesn't matter with the smiley face, it's perception. So don't get caught up that these have to be like amazing big. This is a big takeaway from this course. It's the perception. You know, you need to think about where in your market do people perceive that they're living in nicer homes, in luxury homes. And the marketing we develop, believe me, it's going to appeal to people who are probably in the upper 30 to 40% price range of your market, whatever market you're in around the country. It's going to appeal to a huge number of people, not just to the people who own ultra expensive homes. Now in Phoenix, for example, the average sale price is around $250,000. I didn't even bother to look it up. I know it's in the mid-2s. I don't really see many of those. one of my real estate firm, with my real estate firm here. I actually own the luxury brand, and then my real estate firm, Mavericks Real Estate here. We just put a home in escrow at we listed it at 270. It's our lowest price one that I know of, 279.5, and we sold it at 279.9. In fact, Casey did. I give Casey credit on that. He doesn't just do luxury homes. He did this home and sold it at 2. But that's the lowest. So I know the average price is 250, but I think seems like it ought to be higher. In any case, my point: sellers of $500,000 plus homes, maybe 600, I don't know, 700 for sure, they feel like they live in luxury homes. I can assure you. So it doesn't have to be like the ultra elite multi-million-dollar stuff. I mean, all the marketing that we've developed to get you indoors, probably, I think I gave you a formula here. If you tell them they live in a luxury home and it should not be marketed like an ordinary home, that message might resonate even better than 1 million plus home sellers. So you see the slide here, and I give you a formula here, and I think it's basically just take the average price range in your market, multiply it times the average median price of a home sold, multiply it times 2, maybe go a little over that. And that's where I think you're starting to get into luxury homes, or just take maybe the top 30, 40% price range. So you've got a big market that you can use our marketing message to get into and start getting traction. So in choosing your demographic, your vulnerable demographic, there's no hard price range is what my point is. There's no hard price range. So your 5 key priorities. So let's go through those. You want, number 1, to get prospective home sellers to call you. We're going to give you what you need to do to get that done. All you need to do is get it out there, and you can do it on your budget. Number 2, winning on listing appointments. Already talked about that. Number 3, you got to sell the homes you list. And you know that. I've already talked about that. But here's what I haven't talked about. You need to make sure the sellers who you work for, because you're going to get listings. You're going to get listings because of this course that you never would have gotten. I promise you, if you get the message out, if you just get the message out, you'll get listings you never would have gotten. So one of the keys that I want to teach you through this course is, of so many agents, I see them with listings, and they really are doing, many of them, some aren't, but many of them are doing a good job. But the bottom line is they don't properly let sellers know it. They don't have a system for constantly making sellers understand how hard they're working. That is a critical thing I'm going to teach you to do. It's especially critical with upper price range home sellers. And number 5, you're going to want to acquire video and written testimonials and photos on every home after you sell it. I'm sure you know that, but I'm going to show you some ways to do that that might be more effective than what you're doing now. Okay, so how do we generate home seller calls? Because that's, I think, if there was number one thing that I want to teach you, and the number one thing I think you want to learn from this course, is how to make upper end home sellers call you. So you need to get the messaging right, and I'm going to give you some messaging that you can use. I'm also going to give you my marketing materials that you can look over that I'm using right now that are generating calls right now. But I'm actually going to give you a whole marketing campaign that we've developed. A lot of money, a lot of images, a lot of graphic design. It's the best I've ever. I am so excited to start using it myself. Casey has not seen it. This is going to move his needle off the chart. So I hope, Casey, you're on today, because when you see this, you are going to flip, and you can thank your big brother, Brian, because he and Aaron just absolutely killed it with this. So you need to get the message right. You can do all the marketing in the world, and if all you're doing is marketing your pretty image, and I'm wonderful, and I've got 12 years experience, that's just boring, and that's going nowhere. You're just spending a lot of money. Yeah, you may get some calls just because you're spending a lot of money on marketing, but that is going to give you just a crap ROI compared to what I'm going to teach you. Okay, you need to define demographic. We're going to talk about that. So you need to have a very specific demographic, and you need to wake up every morning with the mission that you're going to own this. Now, this doesn't have to replace anything you are currently doing. Everything you're doing, just keep doing it. You can just pick a demographic. It can be bigger, it can be small based on your budget. We're going to get into that very specifically here in just a minute. And then you're going to put this messaging, I hope, that we give you into that demographic. And we're going to show you how to do that cost effectively. And your phone is going to start to ring. And I'm going to even show you, based on what you spend, exactly what you can expect in calls. How's that? I'm not going to leave that like up in the air. I'm going to actually show you. So if it doesn't happen, you can call me. You've got my cell phone. Most all of you do. If not, it's easy to look up right on my LinkedIn profile. And you can call me. You get down the road and say, Greg, I did that and I didn't get that number of calls. But I don't think that's going to happen because it happens every time. I've been doing this for years. It always happens. Okay, so you're going to define your demo. You're going to use a consistent medium. Medium means the type of delivery methodology, whether it's a community newspaper, a type of mail out, whatever it is, you're going to do that. You're going to use something that's consistent. That's important. You can do a variety of different forms of advertising. That's not a problem. But I want you to use one consistent medium that people are constantly seeing your message in that particular area, whether it's a mail out, whether it's a community newspaper, etc. I want you to use provocative imaging. You're going to see we did that. The imaging that you're going to see, we've designed for you. It's definitely thought-provoking. I don't think there'll be any question about that. And I want you to think about positions against tradition. We're taking position against tradition in our marketing that we're going to give you to use. You'll see that it's right then. It says that we're taking a position against overall tradition. You're going to have specific positions against tradition that will be weaved into your what? Your home selling formula. Because your home selling formula, remember I called that your product. Your product. That's going to be your live all. That's you. That's it. That's what you wake up every morning and you're so proud of because you've got something better. Well, everybody else has got a shinier Ford. You're going to have a Mercedes. I'm going to help you craft that product. I'm just going to tell you what I do, what my product is. You can just use that if you want, but if you want to change it around, you can do that as well. So the whole point is you need to take positions against tradition. And I'm going to go through those again because they're so important. This has made me millions. These 5 steps have made me millions because as good as I might be in a listing presentation, if I hadn't gotten in so many doors over so many years, I would have never had a chance to use it. You need a compelling message, a defined demographic that you drive that message into. You're going to drive it into the demographic using the same medium. You're going to have provocative imaging, and you're going to constantly be pushing that the other guys are doing it wrong. The other guys are doing it wrong. You got that? Those 5 things. So if you were just doing this on your own without me, if this was just a course, it's more, there would be the 5 things you need to do when you're developing your messaging. Good news is I've done it for you, just making this easy. So this is, I said, about how to generate home seller calls today. Single biggest problem that agents have, more time looking for business. You all know that. My greatest strength has been my ability to do that. My second greatest, by the way, has been my ability to win on listing appointments. And I'm going to show you how to do that next week. So this week's assignment, here's what I want you to do. And then I'm going to show you the marketing that we're going to give you. Here's what I want you to do. Then I'm going to show you the marketing that I'm going to give you that you can start using once you do this. So here's what I want you to do. Number 1, decide on your budget. Don't lose sleep. If your budget, I need you to decide on a monthly budget. Before next week, have figured that out. Something you can be comfortable with. Something over and above the other money you're spending. That can be as little as a few $100s a month. It probably ought to be at least a few $100s a month. But it can be as little as that. It does not have to be any big budget, but you need to decide on that. You can probably do that in 3 minutes. The size of your demographic is going to be determined and will determine how fast you begin to receive calls and to take listings and to sell homes and to collect commission checks. So your budget's going to determine the size of your demographic. Okay, does that make sense? So the more you spend, the quicker things are going to happen, but don't spend money that's uncomfortable for you because it takes 60 to 90 days for any marketing message to start taking. Generally 6 impressions. That's just standard form. You know that. That's a big part of marketing, everything you read about marketing. So that's just not true in this and not just true in real estate. So there's 2 reasons for that a lot of people, you hear it all the time. It's just like creativity. People tell you all the time, be creative, but they don't tell you how. So years ago, I developed what I called 7-dimensional thinking. And that's actually something I use to get my creative juice is flowing. It's I start everything that I want to be creative about, all these little things in real estate, I look at them from the context of looking like bigger, smaller, faster, slower, opposite, different, and gone. I look at them in 7 different ways: bigger, smaller, faster, slower, opposite, different, and gone. Well, with advertising, with marketing, there's 2 reasons. There's 2 things here, and the reasons why it does take 6 impressions. Just like people tell you to be creative but don't tell you how, people tell you it takes 6 impressions but don't tell you why. The why is, first of all, memorability. That makes sense. People have to see something over and over again before they start remembering it. Remember, any given day that you put out your message, what's the thing? There's not probably going to be somebody that day that's thinking about selling their home. You'd have to be hitting a huge market for that to be the case. You'd have to be hitting an absolutely huge market. So you need to have multiple impressions. So when a high-end homeowner thinks about selling, they've seen your message 4, 5, or 6 times, and they say, oh yeah, we need to check on that. Make sense? So that's the memorability part. The credibility part is, even if something's not good, when people see it over and over again, it builds credibility. So when people see you marketing that you have a different approach, that you have a different way to sell luxury homes, that the way it's being done is not the best way, when people see that over and over and over again, what's the situation? They see it over and over. They start to build credibility. Even if your product was crap, even if your product wasn't any good, the bottom line is, if people see you pushing it over and over, they think, wow, nobody could afford to keep pushing a certain thing, a product, if it wasn't good. So they start to believe it, you get credibility. That's the why behind the 6 impressions. And that's why you have to always just be patient and say, oh gosh, if after a month you're not getting a bunch of calls, what's going on? That's why, because number 1, you need to build memorability, credibility, and number 2, not in any given day, you may not be hitting somebody who's thinking about selling. Okay, my formula. So you want to budget. I did this in Paradise Valley. I budget, starting in the beginning, budget $1 a home a month. So you budget $1 a home a month. So let me just move this over a little bit there. So the idea is, if you've got a budget of $350 a month, if that's all you really are comfortable spending, then you're going to find a demographic of 350 homes. That makes sense? So with the right message, which I'm going to give you, this will work. This message will work for you. This is like awesome. I can't wait to start using it next week. Delivered twice. And the only place you don't want to market, by the way, you can, I'm not going to restrict you, but the only place you probably don't want to market is Paradise Valley, because with this marketing, I'm going to ramp it up. And I just made up my mind. I think, Casey, you're going to love this. I think we're going to just take Paradise Valley over here in the next 12 months. I think we're going to do that. I think that will just be fun. I'm so excited. Doing this course got me so excited about the messaging and all that I thought, all right, we are going to go ramp it up over on the brokerage end as well. And so I'll be doing this along with you guys. Okay, so $1 a home a month with the right message twice a month. That's 50 cents a home twice a month. You'll receive at least 2 listing interviews for each 175 homes in the 12 months following the first 90 days. And so, am I right on that? Yeah, for each, so 175. So, and so the first 90 days is because you just got to build the memorability and credibility. Let's see if I explain that a little further here, or I'm going to explain it to you now how that works, because that's, yeah, okay, so let me explain that. Okay, so here's the math on that. So this is quantitative stuff. I don't just spend money like scattergun. I mean, to me, it's just ROI. It's real estate is a business. It's pure ROI. So typically you should look for a demographic, I've got that later, where at least 6% of the homes are selling every year. So if 6% of the homes are selling in a 175 home area, that's going to be how many homes? That's going to be something in the vicinity of what, 10 homes or so, 10 homes a year. And the bottom line is, if you do this marketing, after you get through your first 90 days, you will get 20%. You will get 20% of that market in the next 12 months, which means you'll get 2 calls 2 listing interviews. So you see the point there, and you need to spend, so you'd be spending how much? You'd be spending, if you're doing the 175 homes, you'd be spending $175, right? $175 a month is all you'd be spending. That's not a lot of money. What is that? I don't know, 2,100 bucks or something. I think I've got that for you later. So you might get a call right away, but if you don't worry. I don't teach hope marketing. I am never going to advise you to spend your money and just hope something happens. I see that being done all the time, and I won't do that to you. What I'm going to teach you is going to work. There's no hope involved. You can spend X amount of money and expect X amount of calls, particularly if you use the messaging I give you. Okay. Example, if you market to 175 homes, receive 2 calls, which you will if you use our messaging. You're going to market them twice a month. It's not going to cost you more than 50 cents per impact, and you win 1 listing. Let's say you just win 1 listing, then your annual marketing cost is what? 2,100 bucks. If you earn just 2.5% co-broke, not even 3, on the lowest of low-end luxury homes, I just used a low-end number, 500,000. That's, you earn 12,500 bucks. That's over a 6 times ROI on your annual investment. If you earn 2.5, if you get both listings, let's say you get both listings, which you should, and let's say they're $800,000 homes. Well, you're earning a whole wheelbarrow of money there on a minimal investment. That's a 19 times ROI, 19 times ROI. So my point is, I'm going to take you down a path where you won't be doing scattergun marketing. I'm going to take you down a path very defined. If you do what I say here, and you will get X number of calls based on the formula I just gave you. Most realtors, they have no compelling message. There's no consistency, no defined demographic that they're constantly pounding with a particular medium. And that's why they continue to fail and don't get the calls that they could and they should. So I want you to decide on your demographic. So you decided on a budget, now decide on your demographic. The median price of homes should be at least 2 times the average median price in your city, or in the upper 40% of homes sold. It's best if the homes are contiguous. Don't have to be, but I'd like to see the area that you choose be contiguous homes. That'll make it easier. It's helpful, but not necessary. If there's a reasonably priced, look for this, is there a reasonably priced community publication that impacts the homeowners in that area? If I have my choice between 2 areas and one has a publication, could be a church bulletin, an organizational newsletter, a community newspaper, but if one of them has a publication like that and the other doesn't, I'm going to choose the one with the publication. Even if I'm not going to start using that right away because my budget doesn't allow, the bottom line is, as I start doing the mailings to a smaller group, I can eventually, when I get some closings and get more money, you can eventually go into this community publication and eventually have all the realtors. Remember the story I told you to start this? Have all the realtors in that community, once you virtually own that community publication, have all the realtors go to that publication and tell them they need to cut you back. And then you're going to do what I did. You're going to go over and you're going to say, well, I won't cut back, but I will take all of their positions away if they want to drop them. That's what I want you to do, and be prepared to if you can. Okay. You want to try to find an area with a 6% or more turnover rate. Most areas have that. That shouldn't be a problem. You want to assess whether there are any dominant agents. If so, no big deal. They're vulnerable. I'll show you how to just to take listings away from them. Don't get intimidated. Do not get intimidated by big name agents. Trust me, it's a different world today, and you can go smoke the big name agents, the established agents. But if there are no big name agents, that's probably even a little better. It might make it just a little easier. Usually there are, so don't even think about that. Don't worry about it. Then decide on your marketing medium. This is going to be based on your budget. Maybe there'll be a publication you can use. Is there going to be a community publication? Are you going to use direct mail? Generally, if with a smaller budget, direct mail is what we'll do, and I'm going to show you how to do direct mail first class. There'll be some EDDMs, but I'm going to show you how to do first class direct mail once a month to people, and they're going to be blown away. It's going to be an envelope. They're going to open it. They're going to read it. It is so impactful. It's crazy. Nobody's doing that, and I'm going to show you how to use direct mail at a level and with a degree of potency that no realtor I know does it. None. I've never received anything like what I'm going to teach you to do. I don't know anybody who's ever, any of my friends have. It's nuts. And I'm going to show you something in direct mail that is crazy good. but that's going to be next week. You're going to see a little sample of it this week, by the way, though. Church bulletins are great. A lot of times they're churches that services your community. That's certainly true in Paradise Valley, and many of them are looking. They have very low rates on their church bulletins, and they're looking for advertisers to support the church. So that's something that I highly recommend. Community events newsletter. I'll talk to you about that at a later time. This is something that I've been teaching for a long time in both luxury and non-luxury home areas. It's something that people look forward to. You actually develop your own little kind of newsletter, community events newsletter that goes out once a month, and it previews for people all the cool things coming up, not in the community really, as much as in their city, their town. Like if you're in Tucson, we have a rock star agent, Sandy Cantor, down in Tucson, who I don't know if she's on live today. She wrote me last night. She's part of this. She is in the top 1% of all Tucson agents, top 1% of her company. She's with Berkshire Hathaway. And this would be something that she's got the horsepower that she could develop and just own. There's a couple communities in Tucson she wants to just dominate, and I'm going to get her there. If you're on today, Sandy, I'm going to get you there. You're going to dominate those. You've got the chops to do that. So this would be something I will show you how to do. Facebook marketing. I'm not a believer in Facebook marketing as a core strategy for luxury homes. And the reason for that, I do it is fine, but it's more sporadic. I've got right here on the slide why I'm not a believer in that for this luxury home strategy, because you can't be assured that the same upscale home sellers, homeowners, you need homeowners because then it keeps impacting them continually until they decide to sell. So you can't be sure that the same homeowners are seeing your messaging month after month. With Facebook, there's no way to do that. Consequently, if you want to do it, fine. I'm going to give you great messaging, including Facebook ads that you can run, but that will be kind of a peripheral add-on strategy. That will not be the core strategy because I can't predict your ROI. I consider that to be hope marketing. Now, hope marketing doesn't mean bad. I've done a lot of things where I spent money and hoped for a good result. It's okay. I'm just going to tell you that what I'm going to advise you to do for sure is marketing that isn't hope marketing, where I can predict for you what your ROI should be. Okay, and it's all, as I said, going to depend on your budget, et cetera. And next, know your numbers. These are assignments for next week, by the way, guys. You need to figure out your budget. You need to understand, decide on your demographic, how many homes, try to make them contiguous. You need to decide on your marketing median, and that's going to a large extent be based on your budgets. That's the third thing, based on your budget and based on whether there are any publications that fit your budget that impact the market that you've chosen. So that's the third thing. I've already covered those. And fourth thing is to know your numbers. I want you to mainly look. I'd love for you to watch my webinar. It is public on my YouTube channel. I did it a few weeks ago on how to use competitors' numbers against them. Knowing your numbers. And that's a great webinar on how to use that. I give an example of an agent right out here. She's not even with my firm out here in North Scottsdale that I think has done that masterfully. And I actually show an example of the marketing piece that she does and all of the components she has in it that I think are fantastic. And I believe in the perfect marketing piece. I point out in the webinar, she's only missing one. She's only missing one component in what I would view to be the perfect marketing piece. And I say that as a total compliment because most agents marketing are missing most of the components. So that's you want to learn your competitors, your key competitors' numbers. I'll show you how to use that, not in a personal way, but in a way that's going to make people want to list with you. And then you study their numbers, your numbers. The three things you're going to look at is your competitors' numbers. And it's right there in the webinar. How long is it taking them to sell a home? What's their average original list price, not reduced list price, but what is their average original list price to sale price? How long is it on average taking them to sell a home? What percentage of their homes don't sell, that is, expire? How many homes do they have sitting right now on the market, unsold? In other words, signs of failure. How many signs of failure do they have out there? So it's all right there in the webinar, and you can zip through it. You can actually, if you want, just request the slide deck from Jen at Real Estate Mavericks, that's Jenn, and you can zip through that in 10 minutes instead of the hour webinar if you want. It's all right there. So you want to, and you also want to know the numbers in your area. You want to know in your demographic, how many homes are for sale? What's the turnover time? What's the absorption rate? You want to be able to talk intelligently about that area. So those are your homework assignments for next week here. So have you got those? So that is, this luxury course will do you no good unless you go down the path with me. It's just learning. You don't need learning for the sake of learning. In real estate, what you need is learning for the sake of increasing your business, increasing your profitability. In my view, there are really only two types of learning in real estate that are valuable. One type helps you be a better realtor, serve clients better, protect them better. It doesn't necessarily relate to ROI. You may not make more money by knowing what's going on in real estate, in financing, title, all the knowing contracts, how to draw an amazing contract that protects your clients. You may not, excuse my dog, by the way, in the background. I have a golden doodle that I just love, and I'm broadcasting this from home this morning. And we have people coming over to help Roseanne with some stuff. So, and I'd actually bring Tanner over, but I don't think I could get him up on my lap here to introduce him. In any case, it is so important that you know these numbers and become educated in your area. Okay, now the best news of all, and that is this is more than a course. I told you that. You're going to get more than knowledge. You're going to get these marketing materials. And we've designed a campaign just for you. And I think you're going to, first of all, you're going to say, whoa, when you see this, and that's what you should be saying. We did a little testing on this. I do that with all the materials. This is like going to be off the chart. So I'm going to give you a preview of some of this stuff that we will customize for you. And so you'll receive these marketing materials. We're going to brand them to you. You just need to, I'll ask you probably in the next session to get how you want them branded over to us, and we'll do that. But here's something nobody in training, I think, has ever done. We are going to build a website for you. You got this? I mean, you'll all use this. It's the same website, but I want you to understand it'll be at luxuryhomeformula.com. And the idea here is you'll be putting out the marketing message. You'll have your branding on it. There's one set of materials that will have the URL here, and there's one set that won't. You can go either way. But if you want to use the set that has this URL, we're going to build this out with the home selling product that I recommend. It's going to explain that you can use. And consequently, there'll be a video. It'll all be explained. So people will get your messaging. They'll get your mailers. They'll see your ads. And they can just call you, but if you want, you can have this on there, and they can just go and see really why they should call you. I mean, we'll make this so there's no luxury home seller, no sane luxury home seller that could possibly go to this website and not give you a call. Then when they look at that and they say that you're the certified rep for this program, that you offer this program in their area. So we're taking this up a whole notch. This is way more than a course. This is like a business in a box. We're just going to hand you as close to a luxury home business in a box as we can, all for $297. I mean, $297 for this course. That's it. So bottom line is this is all included, and you can use it or not. So, and I just said the singular goal of the website is to reinforce the messaging and get you in the door. We will add the URL to the marketing materials. We'll customize if you want us to. That's up to you. So the imaging that we came up with, let me show you this bigger one first. So this is a Getty image, and I am so excited about this. This is a Getty image, obviously a striped elephant. And so the image is selling your luxury home. I have a different approach. And that is a message that you can use. And you know that's going to catch people's eye. And that's the whole point of advertising. You got to cut through the clutter. You want to get people's attention. And the big thing, the big message you're trying to get across is that you do it different, that you're different. So very straightforward here. Selling your luxury home, I have a different approach. And then you can see the accompanying copy. By the way, that may look simple. Hours and hours and hours into, I have been writing real estate copy since, well, for way long, 40, 45 years. And it really, to do it right, just takes enormous amount of effort and collaboration. Brian and I worked on this copy and went over it over and over. But a smarter way, just figure you're a luxury home seller and you see this over and over in different ways. We have different ways you can put it out, but a smarter way to sell luxury homes. My proprietary home launch formula is the smarter way to sell luxury homes. It was hailed in Forbes. You'll be able to, if you're going to use anything along the lines of what I'm using, that was what I was written up for in Forbes. So you can use that. We're going to allow you to use that because you'll be using basically the same thing that I was written up for in Forbes. You'll be using it. So it was. We're not saying that you were featured in Forbes. We're saying that this process you're using was featured in Forbes. That's enormous credibility for you. So it's hailed in Forbes as a way to generate curiosity and pent-up demand before buyers are allowed to step inside. And don't make a costly mistake. Avoid the costly error that luxury home sellers make when it's time to sell. Don't list until you learn about this. And then very, how can I put it, very, the messaging is not like, please let me come over and spend an hour with you. Call me today. I'll explain it by phone or just send you a brochure. And by the way, we're going to develop the brochure by the end of the course that explains this as well as the website that you can just send over. So and then you'd have your contact information, whatever you want at the bottom. This is an individual mailer. This would be mailed first class. And you can see there's two sides to it. There's the handwritten note on the one side, and then there is the card on the other side. This will go in an envelope, be mailed first class. Hugely impactful. And I even suggest that you would hire somebody to handwrite people's addresses on that. You do not have to handwrite the cards. It'll all be just like that. We'll put your signature on the card for you. So all you need to do is just have somebody have all the addresses of all the homes and hire somebody at whatever an hour to hand address them and put them in the mail. I've done this kind of thing in the past. I will tell you, it is major league effective. A lot of realtors hesitate to mail first class because it's more expensive than like the EDDM, and it is. I think first class, what, I don't know, 49 cents now or something. And so your cost might be 60, 65 cents per piece by the time you figure the cost of the card and all that in and printing. But oh my gosh, is it effective when it's handwritten and people open the envelope. Here's the same thing. Here's the other side. I believe this is the other side of an EDDM card that you can use if you pick an EDDM area. Well, no, there's the, so yeah, I think that's actually a half-page ad. Then this is, I think that's maybe, oh no, this is a quarter-page ad. I think this is a half-page ad. So this is a quarter-page ad. This is a half-page ad. And you can see this, this now, this smaller, this has actually a much, we take the messaging down so you can use part of it or all of it. And this is the back of an EDDM card. This might be the, I apologize, Brian, I should know what these are, but this I think is designed maybe as the full page ad here. You can also use it in a variety of ways. And so you can see some of this has shorter messaging, some of it has longer messaging. This one is smarter way to sell luxury homes. My proprietary home launch formula is the smarter way to sell luxury homes. It was hailed in Forbes as a way to generate curiosity and pent-up demand before buyers are allowed to step inside. Call me today. I'll explain it by phone or send you a brochure. So that's part of the messaging you saw in the other one. This one's got some additional messaging about a real estate strategy developed by Apple. And incorporates techniques developed by Apple to put buyers in a higher price frame of mind before they view a product. I've applied the same concept in real estate, also has the Forbes piece in here. And of course, you can mix and match this language among these materials. We do that all the time. And this is the little note there. And this would be the back of your cards. I call this promo cards, and I would suggest that you have whatever your business card is, that you have a new run printed. You can do that when you run out. You don't have to do it now, but you would put this on the back of your business card. So you have whatever you have on the front and the back. People turn it over. Selling your luxury home, I have a different approach. Now, you say, well, Greg, I may not want to give that to people that aren't luxury home. Fine, then just have a set of cards that you give to people who are, you know, the luxury home. But I would hand these out all over because, I mean, I would put these everywhere. And then, of course, your contact information is on the other side. So last, going to finish up today. And then if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. I'll go off recording. You don't want to be a loser on LinkedIn. A very high percentage. We've seen several studies that anywhere from 30-some% up to 60% of home sellers look at in the luxury arena particularly, look at an agent's LinkedIn profile before the agent comes over on the listing appointment. Usually it's after they've made the appointment and then before the agent comes over. So we don't want you to be a loser on LinkedIn. Include it. We're just going to give you our most popular course over the years is our LinkedIn course for realtors. It's all online. You're going to get an email that gives you access to that. And here's what I want you to do. This is really, really important. You want to start. We're going to have you all trade testimonials. You first go to my LinkedIn profile under the brokerage brand, Hague Partners, and just leave a couple of sentences like, wow, Greg, loved your luxury training today. You can see why you were, you're so good in the luxury market or something. It doesn't matter. It's nothing to do with training. It's something that consumers, that's where consumers would see. So just leave something there. Well, I'm going to get somebody on my team, 3 reciprocations for you. So that's going to help my Hague Partners. It's Hague Partners on my personal brand, but we're going to get 3 on yours. So I'll be doing one, and 2 of my team will be doing one on whatever part of your profile, your LinkedIn profile, to get you started and keep you with some fresh recommendations. And then we're going to take you down a path where we continue that. Many of you have already recommended me in the Real Estate Mavericks brand, so don't do that. This is about the luxury home, so just do the Hague Partners brand on mine, and then we'll be reciprocating over the next week so that all of you get started. Take this course, and then if you need any further help on that, just let us know. But you want to continue. You can't make your LinkedIn profile amazing overnight, but we want you to continue down a path. Brian was telling me the other day, for example, he's so proud of his LinkedIn profile because I think he's told me he has like 40 recommendations from agents who he's been coaching, and he should be proud. That's really something to be super proud of. And what we want to do for you is start having you get fresh new recommendations, and not just from clients. They can be from anyone, and we're going to get that ball started for you. Just leave a few nice sentences on my Hague Partners one under Greg Hague, and we'll reciprocate as well. And so that is the end of today's session. The assignments are critically important. Please get those done before next week, because I'm going to have a lot more for you next week. By the end of the 4 weeks, you're going to be in motion. You're going to have materials out. You're going to be in motion. And I want you to start actually, let me go off the slide deck here so you can see me. There we go. I want you to actually be in a position where you might be getting calls. I mean, you might. It's not likely. You got to do the 90 days. You've got to do the seed marketing. But I want you to be in a position where you might even start getting some calls. So I'm going to finish up the way I always do. And that is, number one, thank you guys. I'm so excited about taking you down this luxury home path. And I salute the Maverick in you.